Canada-U.S. relations are fundamental for the prosperity, well-being of Canadians. We know this is an important election year for the U.S., so we'll be hearing shortly from a panel of experts on Canada-U.S. relations and making sure that we're ready for whatever Americans decide in this coming November. I have asked our Minister of Trade and our Minister of Industry, Mary Ng and François-Philippe Champagne, to lead the Team Canada approach, working with Ambassador Kirsten Hillman, who's here today for the panel, to pull together, as we did a number of years ago, a Team Canada approach, including businesses, entrepreneurs, organized labor, civil society groups, different orders of government, to make sure that we're ready to continue to benefit as Canadians from a strong relationship with the United States. We know there's always challenges whenever there's an American election, but as we have before, we're going to be ready to deal with whatever gets tossed at us and make sure we're defending Canadians' interests and opportunities in this strong relationship. I think one of the really important things for any Canadian government is to continue to work constructively with whatever American administration is in place. There's no question that we made it through the challenges represented by the Trump administration 7 years ago for 4 years, where we put forward the fact that Canada and the U.S. do best when we do it together, when we're well integrated, when we recognize the prosperity that's created on both sides of the border. That's going to continue to be our approach. Obviously, Mr. Trump represents a certain amount of unpredictability, but we will make sure we're pulling together and preparing for whatever eventualities. Actually, what worked best and what works with all American presidents is to demonstrate that what is good for Canada is also good for the United States and vice versa. That the integration of our economies, that the partnerships we have in so many different areas end up being beneficial on both sides of the border. And obviously, the three presidents I've dealt with have all had different perspectives and different approaches on it, but the Canadian approach is the same. It's standing up for Canadian values and Canadian interests, looking for win-win situations, and demonstrating that we can and will continue to work together to create prosperity right across the continent.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, bonjour. Today marks the finalization of an agreement that will see the largest land transfer in the history of Canada. 2 million square kilometres of land and waters will be transferred from the Government of Canada to the Government of Nunavut, to Nunavut. Inuit have hunted and fished and lived on these lands for generations, some going back well before recorded history. Today begins a new chapter in the history of Nunavut, a transformative chapter. Now, the formal name for this process is devolution, but in many ways it's more of an evolution.
Is the devolution agreement to be signed by our Prime Minister, Government of Nunavut, and Nunavut Tungavik, and takwa okaw sa kakataktan ipudjut taymelingan ningit.
This is historic.
How you manera kasi inok dito atileo ito.
This is indeed a huge day. It's a historic day for Nunavut, but it's a historic day for Canada as well. Nunavut is our most recent territory, created officially only a few decades ago. But the people who live on this land, the Inuit, have lived here and created prosperity and culture and communities and a future for themselves from time immemorial. It's also around sovereignty, and it's around people's right to self-determination and building a better future for themselves in a complicated world. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.